Going back to the COVID year, you and Mukuba and Taaffe obviously working out all the time together. He comes in this year. You win the Thorpe. You have the #1 pass defense in the country. What sort of like magic power do the three of you have together, and what is the Andrew Mukuba that we don't see like?
I mean, for one, it all starts off with God. God just placing us here all together at the same exact time for a purpose that means a lot greater than us and any individual on the team. So, I mean, that's for starters. And then second, we all work hard and we push each other. And then the level of bond and the level of trust that we have. Um, I mean, I wouldn't want to say, we have a better trust level with everybody else on the team, but we've obviously been knowing each other for over a decade and things like that. So it's kind of a little bit stronger and just a strong connection when we're out there. And then Andrew Mukuba, he's always working to be better. It starts off with his practice habits, the way he goes throughout the week. So when the game comes, he could just let it loose.
Next question is going to come from Thomas Jones.
Jahdae, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What do you recall from playing Will Howard when he was playing with K-State, and what have you guys learned last couple of games playing these mobile quarterbacks?
That's a veteran quarterback there, a lot of ball, a lot of experience on him. Hats off to him. And then, then too, not downgrading his receivers at Kent State, but he has a better group of receivers here, better people he can work with to get the ball to. And then that's a strong kid, he's a fighter. He'll run the ball if he has to and things like that. So it's going to be a great challenge for us.
Your next question is going to come from Cedric Golden.
Hey, Jahdae. You guys gave up some chunk plays in the second half, which is uncharacteristic. What's the concern level going in against Ohio State? An offense is playing as well as any in the CFP.
I mean, again, it's not so matter the opponent. Just being enamored with us, paying attention and being dialed, very detailed to PK's plan and what he has for us, and just executing it at the highest level we can, which we know how to do and which we're capable of doing. So I would say just executing his plan to the best of our ability.
Next question is going to come from Danny Davis.
Hey, today. You've obviously shown a lot of love for Michael and Andrew throughout the season. I'm kind of wondering about the other guys in your room, specifically Manny, Gavin. Just what have you seen from them throughout this season?
Just growth, they'll keep making plays, but just growth and then being willing to learn from Coach Joseph and take the learning. But they're all coming along and also they're creating themselves value for special teams and things like that. But just growth and always being engaged on the team and, always helping me to be better for myself and pushing me.
Your next question is going to come from Dan Hope.
Hey, Jay, what stands out to you when watching Jeremiah Smith, and how exciting is it for you to have that opportunity to go head to head with him?
That was going to be an amazing opportunity to go against him. That kid can ball. He can ball. He's a big baller. Strong ability. He's a deep threat, and they love to get him the ball and they love to create opportunities to get him the ball, but it'll be a great challenge for him. And then also for the other receivers they have, they have a great receiver group of guys. So it'd just be a great challenge for us and us DBs in the back end to go against those guys.
Your next question is going to come from Brian Davis. Go ahead.
Hey, Jahdae, just kind of following up on that. You don't go against 6'3" guys that often.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, do you have to change how you approach that because this person is physically bigger than the norm?
I think everybody once they go in the game, you got to play your game. You can't change your game based off somebody else to get out of your position on how you play and things like that. So just being enamored with my game and how I do things, and also, game's a physical game. So he's a physical player, and I'll have to be also physical. I'm a physical player myself. So just being physical and just going at it, and I think that's the great thing about football, having an opportunity to go against amazing players. So it'll just be a fun opportunity to just go against those guys.
Your next question is going to come from Corey Most. Corey, go ahead.
What's up, Jahdae? Wanted to ask. What's up? I just wanted to ask about you take a lot of pride in watching film, and I know you love to study film. I'm just curious to see what you've seen from Ohio State. What has impressed you the most with this scheme that Chip Kelly and Ryan Day have developed offensively, especially since they kind of adapted it throughout the season this year?
I mean, they have all around great players everywhere. I mean, starting from the veteran quarterback, two amazing backs, and then the receiver group. And just a veteran quarterback they have, and then just they create opportunities for those guys to get the ball in space. They try to get those guys their touches to see what they can do. But they love their explosive plays and things like that. So it would be our job to eliminate those explosive plays and just to play our game. Trust PK's plan, and then ultimately it'd be a good game.
Your next question is going to come from Chip Brown.
Hey, Jahdae, how important will the pass rush be in this game? Getting Howard, uncomfortable and not where he can just sit there and dial throws. And then what's the team's level of confidence in Bert Auburn after his recent struggles?
I mean, we'll start it off. Bert, he's made a lot of amazing kicks for us in the past. He's going to come up big when we need him. So whatever, if he could just block out the noise, we're riding with him. We got his back through it all. That's what a culture is here. No matter the ups and downs, we're always going to pick somebody up. And then for our D-line, it's always good to create pressure, mess up the timing of the routes and things like that. So I know our D-line and our guys, they're going to get after it. And just amazing opportunity across the board for 11 on 11.
Our next question is going to come from Kirk Bowles.
Hello, Jahdae. How you doing, man? Sorry, I keep saying you guys haven't played your best football yet. It's still ahead of you. Do you feel like y'all played y'all's A game as a team in the playoffs so far? And is that dangerous if you're not?
No, sir. I don't think we've played our best, but that's what practice is for, to get to that point. But I think we can win in a lot of different ways, from special teams, offense, defense. So that's what makes us an amazing team. But once we have all three of those pieces together, we're a very dangerous team. So that's the goal, to get all those three together on board, and we can just keep it rolling.
Your next question is going to come from Sam Khan.
Hey, Jahdae, what has it been like working with PK these last 4 seasons, and what is it about him that has helped this defense get consistently better year in, year out?
He's a genius. He's always putting people in position to make plays, and he puts us in the best position to make plays. And I think, honestly, with the having the iPads this year, he's taken full advantage of it. He'll go down from each position group, from the D-line to the backers, and then come over to the DBs with Coach Joseph with the iPad, and just to kind of help and fill everybody in. But he's an amazing play caller. He's very patient, and he tries to get exact on the money with the offense formation, what they have going, and what look they have, and the alignments and things like that. But he's literally a genius, and his plays are always putting us in position to make plays.
We got 3 questions for you to close out. First, from Noah Gross.
Hey, Jahdae, after the game, Andrew was talking about how this is your team. He talked about how he wanted you to make a speech for the second overtime to kind of get everybody going. When you hear your teammates talk about you in a leadership sense and say this is your team, what kind of goes through your mind?
I mean, one, it's an honor. It's an honor to have that role, and coming from my peers and teammates and things like that alongside of me that put in the same amount of work I do. We sweat the practice together. We do a lot of hard things together, but coming from them, it means a lot. And it's an honor just to take that role. But that was big of him, just coming to me, seeing things in the right place. And I don't know where my mind was at, long game, but for him to just come up there and talk to me and give me the motivation to go talk to everybody else, that was needed at the time. But I mean, it's just an amazing opportunity to have a role like that.
Next question is going to come from David Eckert.
Hey, Jahdae, appreciate your time. I guess I just have to follow up on that one. What did you say? What was the message?
I was just telling guys, I mean, it's going to be on us. Offense are going to go score, and it's on us to just close it out. We got to go handle business, but it starts off with our energy level. I think everybody was just down on throughout how the game was going and things like that. And we just needed a little bit of motivation. And I think that's what it gave it to it. And we went out there and we finished it.
Your final question is going to come from Danny Davis.
Jahdae, how would you describe Coach Joseph as a coach, and how vital has he been to you since you got here?
Man, Coach Joseph,
since he got here. Sorry.
Coach Joseph, he's one of the biggest pieces for me, honestly. Everything, all the success that I'm having. I mean, it's I would say 80% is because of him. The other 20, obviously, what I'm doing outside to take care of my body and things like that, and then my own film. But he's changed my life. He's changed my game just to make me a smarter player. I'm a better person, just how I handle business throughout the film room and how I watch film. Some people could just turn on tape and you're just watching it, but he's helped me to go through 6-7 different calls just for one plays and seeing alignments and splits and it just helps me play fast out there. Just trusting my game and once I study so much, trust my instincts. But I mean, he's changed my life completely. He's made me the person I am today.
Hi, Andrew. Obviously, your family's journey to this point is an incredible story, but then your story, even coming back, and it feels like you've sort of elevated yourself this year, which I know you said coming into the season you wanted to do. What has been the reason why you've been so comfortable and made so many plays this year?
I feel like schematically, I feel like it's a good fit for me. Just having the opportunity to play that true safety position, and I say as far as coaching as well has helped me a lot too, and really just getting comfortable. I feel that was my biggest thing, just getting comfortable, and and playing football the right way. Like how I feel like I'm playing now, kind of reminds me of my high school days where I'm just flying around and having fun.
Your next question is going to come from Danny Davis. Go ahead.
Hey, Andrew. Obviously, Jahdae won the Thorpe. I'm kind of wondering, what are your impressions of the other guys in that cornerback room? Manny, Gavin, just how they've played throughout this season.
They've played exceptional. They're a big part of the reason why we're successful as a defense, especially in the back end. Those guys, they come in day in, day out, put in work. Manny is one of the leaders in the back end. So, stuff run through him too. So I say those guys have really showed up for us. It's big time. Gav come in there, he hold it down. You seen like the games like Georgia game, he came in there and did what he supposed to do. And I say, yeah, those guys do a great job, and they really helping us. They're part of the reason why we who we are as a defense.
Your next question is going to come from Corey Mose. Go ahead.
What's up, Andrew? Just wanted to ask about the season so far. I know it's starting to feel like an NFL season, I bet, with all the games on the schedule. I know the body's not great, but just when it comes to the chemistry, though, with these added games, I know you talked about the scheme. How has that helped out with just learning the scheme more with the more time to learn it? And also just being a transfer coming into this locker room, how these added games and more time in the locker room helped you out, just building relationships and bonds with the guys?
I mean, with these added games, I feel like it just gives you a different switch, a different mentality, knowing that, one of these games could be your last game. So, we just try to go out there and, prepare like, this could be our last game and or else we keep going. So it's really just the mentality, to be honest with you, knowing that, that we're in a situation where if we lose, we going home. And if we win, we just keep playing. And, we in a position where we got the, national spotlight on us. This is what you want, for a guy like me, this is what I wanted. So, the more games we play, the better it is for, for us as a team to, have the opportunity to reach our goal. And as an individual goal, it's an opportunity, to go out on the big stage, and showcase your talent.
Your next question is going to come from Cedric Golden.
Hey, Andrew. You guys are facing the most explosive offense in the country right now. What's the concern level with some of the chunk plays that you gave up in this last game, and how are you guys communicating in practice to try to keep Ohio State's under wrap?
We don't really. I wouldn't say we have any concerning plays. I feel like the things that we went through can be fixed, and it ain't nothing really huge or something that we need to worry about for real. We've made those adjustments already, and we moved on to the game that we got coming up. But I wouldn't say there's any concerns, to be honest with you.
Your next question is going to come from Kirk Bowles. Kirk, go ahead.
Yeah, Andrew, you and your teammates obviously playing great football, and Will Howard's got 32 touchdowns, completing like 73%. And you know about Jeremiah Smith and Emeka. Is there going to be more pressure on you guys in this game than in any game all year? And are most teams doubling Jeremiah Smith?
I wouldn't necessarily say pressure. I feel like this game, is just how we prepare for any other game we did during the year. Just going out there to practicing hard. I feel like we've never really prepared differently for whatever game it was. We just went in with the same approach. Every week. To just practice hard. Let the results show on Saturdays, and I feel like we've done a good job of doing that every weekend and week out. Because around this time, guys get banged up and tired, but with the guys that we have, we do a good job of that. And as far as Will Howard and those guys, they do a good job, throwing the ball. Will Howard is a good quarterback, experience, got a lot of experience under his belt. He can find ways to pick apart your defense and just those sort of things. So, it's gonna be fun.
Your next question is going to come from David Eckert. Go ahead.
Hey, Andrew, appreciate the time. I'm just curious, can you kind of compare and contrast the styles that you see from the two Ohio State running backs? Are they different or are they similar in your eyes?
I'll say they different. But they both special guys that can do so much with the ball. Very special with the ball in their hand, can make plays happen. As far as Judkins, I feel like he a hard runner, run hard. Got speed on him, and I believe Travion Henderson, he's more of a a guy that's going try to get him in space, give him the ball, let him do what he do. So I say they two different running backs, but they both very special, and they can hurt you in a lot of ways.
Your next question is going to come from Chip Brown.
Andrew, can you talk about your body, the recovery? You guys, some of you played over 100 snaps in that game. And then what have the teams that have had success, the defenses that have had success against Ohio State, what's been the common thread?
As far as the body, Coach Short and the guys there, they do a good job, taking care of us, try to give us some time to recover. To kind of take the load off of us in practice. And I believe those stuff help us for sure as far as like recovery and trying to get our bodies back. Because like you just said, those guys that played over 100 snaps, so that's important, and they do a good job prioritizing that. And what was your second question? My bad.
The teams that have had success against Ohio State's offense, what is there a common thread?
I say really just match the physicality. I'll say that's the biggest thing. And I say it starts up front, with the D line, and then with the linebackers, and obviously with the guys in the back end. So I say if we match our physicality, that's what the other teams that has played them did, and had success doing it. So that's one big thing we're gonna try to carry into this game is try to match the physicality, and if not, be the more physical team.
Your next question is going to come from Dan Hope. Go ahead, Dan.
Andrew, what are the biggest things that stand out to you when you watch Jeremiah Smith on film?
He can catch the ball. He got good catch radius. He can make a lot of crazy catches. Good speed. Good route runner. And the kid is very special. I done seen him on film. Do some crazy things. Run past people, jump over people, those sort of things. And I can tell. He put in the time, and he's done what he's supposed to do. And you can tell by how he playing. With a lot of confidence. And that's gonna carry on for him. I know that. So he a good player for sure. He a good player, and he's very special.
Next question is going to come from Dave Wilson.
Hey, Andrew. Obviously, you and Taff and Jahdae had a relationship for a while before this, and then you go to Clemson. Taff and Jahdae almost didn't have the chance to come to Texas either. So, why did you go to Clemson to begin with, and then how did it all end up where you all come back together now to play in all these big games together? And what has that been like for you guys?
Playing together is always something that we've always talked about, since we were training with each other in high school. And me going to Clemson, I believe I had the opportunity, to play early. That's a school that I believe was right for me in the moment. I made that decision. But just having all three of us here, that really means a lot to us because it's something that we talked about multiple times, and now seeing it come to reality is even crazier. And and us doing it this big, with Jahdae, winning the Thorpe and playing some of his best football, and then with Tav, All American playing some of his best football. I mean, it's literally everything we talked about, and it's happening in front of us. And we got a bigger goal to go reach. So the story not over.
So you go from 116th in pass defense last year to the top this year with all three of you guys together. Now you have this giant challenge ahead of you. Do you go back to those training sessions together to talk about these things? What is this, moment like now all together going forward in this huge game at AT&T?
And I always just go back to our preparation. The moment not too big or too small. We just gonna approach it like we'd approach any other week. We gonna communicate like how we communicate any other week. And then those guys, they're gonna step up just like they do every week. And I know they are. So it's really not much to it other than going out there with the right approach. And playing the right way, playing Texas defense football.
We have time for a question, 2 or more for Andrew. If you have one, please use the raise your hand function and we will get to you. All right, we got a couple in here. First off, follow up from Kurt Bowles.
Yeah, Andrew, we've talked about killer instinct before and putting teams away, and obviously y'all had that problem against Arizona State. What's the key to fixing that and make sure you keep the pedal to the metal and try to finish games?
The key to that, is playing, 4 complete quarters. Never settle. Not saying that we did, but never settle or never think that anything can't happen in the game. So I say, the key to that, is just keep playing hard no matter what the score is. Just play complete 4 quarters. Until the clock hit 00.
Our next question is going to come from Sam Khan. Sam, go ahead.
Hey, just wanted to ask, how exciting is it to be able to play this semifinal game in your home state, and how big a crowd do you think will be filled with burnt orange?
It's huge, having the opportunity, like you said, to play in my home state, in one of the biggest games that's going on right now. And, that's huge, because we got a lot of guys on the team that's from Texas, especially from Dallas. So, I know those guys are pumped up, and, I know those guys are ready to go. And, as far as the crowd, I know Texas fans never disappoint. So I know the Texas fans are going to show up and show out every time and, bring the energy.
Our next question is going to come from David Eckert.
Hey, Andrew. I just want to follow up on what I was asking before about the running backs. I mean, when you've got 2 guys who can do different things, I guess what type of challenge does that present for y'all defensively, and how do you kind of counter that?
It's a different type of challenge because one guy on the field, you got to make adjustments to what kind of player he is, what he can do to hurt us, and then with the other guy on the field, we got to do the same. So it's definitely a challenge, and that's something that we up for. And I know that's something that we gonna come in and take care of business and do what we're supposed to do. But it's definitely a different challenge. And it's a lot of things that they can do both. to really tear your defense apart, and hurt you on the defense on defense.
We got a question from Chip Brown.
Hey, Andrew. Just how weird or different does it feel to be the underdog all of a sudden in a game in the state of Texas?
I wouldn't really say feel weird or any type of feeling, to be honest with you. Speaking from a player perspective, guys like, the guys in the locker room, we don't really pay attention to that. Cause all that stuff could be wrong, but we don't really, put our minds to it. We just focus on the task at hand and, doing what we're supposed to do. And if they got us the underdog, then that's fine. If they don't, then that's also fine. But we just going out there to go, handle our business, win the game, and go on to the next game.
Michael, you got a really tough wide receiver matchup. What's the key to stopping guys like Emeka and Jeremiah and whoever else they run out there?
Yeah, they got a impressive group out at receiver. They got 4 or 5 guys that are really dangerous. Obviously, Jeremiah is really good. Obviously, Emeka, number 2, is elite. And number 17, number 11, they got guys that you got to respect out there. So just knowing the type of game plan, knowing what you're trying to do to them, knowing what they're trying to do to us, and just being ready and being confident.
Next question is going to come from Thomas Jones. Go ahead.
Michael, good afternoon. You played against Will Howard when he was at K-State, obviously. What do you recall from playing against him, and what have you guys learned the past 2 weeks playing against quarterbacks that can move pretty well?
He's competitive. He wants to win. It was obvious in that game. He was willing to do whatever it took. It came down to the last throw. It came down to that last little second when he was scrambling around trying to find somebody open in the end zone. And so he's competitive. He does what it takes to win. And, I don't assume anything less from him in this matchup come Friday. So he can put the ball where he needs to. He can do it with his legs. And he's a guy that, those guys like on offense.
Next question has come from Dennis Dodd. Go ahead.
Hey, Michael, have you ever played against an 18-year-old receiver who's 6'3" and 225?
Can't say that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, he's everything that he offers just is incredible. He's a guy that looks like he's NFL ready already on tape. He's going up and getting the ball over 2-3 defenders. So I think they got a lot of trust in him. It doesn't matter how good of coverage the defense has. Will's still giving him a chance, and clearly he's making money. And so he's very talented. There's no way that he's actually 18. He's a dog, and I'm ready to go compete against him.
Your next question is going to come from Eric Henry. Go ahead.
Hey, Michael, hopefully you can hear me. We're having some Wi-Fi issues, but just kind of piggybacking off of that, is there anybody that you guys have faced this year from a receiver perspective you think kind of, resembles, either Jeremiah Smith or any of the guys that Ohio State has?
Yeah, I don't think you can compare anybody to Jeremiah. The whole country knows what type of talent he has, what type of football player he has, and I think he's only getting better because he's 18 years old. So I really don't know how much you can compare anybody else to him. I think number 2, just being in that system for a while and knowing that system, I think it looks like they trust him a lot. It seems like, he's slide blocking like a tight end sometimes, and kind of seems like a Jay Witt type of guy that, I bet that whole locker room loves him. It shows on tape. He's doing those extra effort type of plays. And so I wouldn't say he's a receiver like Jay Witt, but kind of that Jay Witt mentality of doing whatever it takes to win. And you can really tell on tape.
Your next question is going to come from Donovan Bridgeforth. Go ahead.
What's up, Michael? So I did some research, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe you've ever lost at AT&T Stadium in your football career. So what really allows you to cut it loose when you're playing there?
I kind of go by the motto, big time players make big time plays in big time games. And whenever you're in AT&T Stadium, that's always a big time game. So you got to show up, you got to show out, you got to be confident. And not a lot of people are betting on the underdog. And most of the times that I've played there, I've been the underdog. And so I just believe in myself and kind of live by that motto.
Your next question is going to come from Kurt Bowles. Kurt, go ahead.
Ohio State's just been dominating people in this playoff, obviously, and there have been some concerns about you guys finishing and having the killer instinct. Kind of like in the Peach Bowl when y'all had the 16-point lead. Is that a concern of y'all's, and why do you feel like that is, and how do you fix it?
No, I don't feel like that's a concern. Obviously, we got to keep harping on finishing. We started really fast last week, and we got to always, preach finishing. I gave up, one of my first go balls this year late in that game on a deep go ball to Scatterboo. So I went to the sideline. I said, "Hey, that's on me." So if you're preaching it, you got to do it also. So almost all that was on me. Now, yes, you got to keep preaching it, but I think there's just so many situations that happened in that game that the football gods, if there is any, they were on Arizona State's side for all that second half, and it just seemed like nothing could go our way, and that happens in football. But at the end of the day, we came out with a W, and no matter what it took, we were willing to do it. And thank God for Quinn Ewers to check the protection on 4th and 13 and deliver a nice ball to a well route by Matthew Golden.
Your next question is going to come from Dan Hope. Dan, go ahead.
And Michael, you guys have allowed more passing yards in each of these two CFP games than you did in any of the regular season games. So what do you attribute that to, and what are the things you feel like you have to clean up going into this game?
Yeah, just communicate. Just communicate with one another. I think you got 10 days to prepare for each one of these games. Arizona State had 20 days to prepare for their game. And so, you have 15 games on tape of what type of schemes you run. And so I think, with every defense, there's always, a beater to a defense. That's why defense coordinators are always on the sideline throwing their hats, throwing their headsets down, because there's always some type of beater to every single defensive scheme. And so, when you have that much tape out there, all the games that we've played, and 10 days to get ready for that and to scheme a defensive back group, then I think that happens. And so is it okay? No, it's not okay at all. We got to do whatever it takes to hold people to under, our standard of yards given up and then touchdowns given up. But I think that's kind of where it comes from. We're playing really good teams. There's no coincidence that, Ohio State made it to the Final Four. There's no coincidence that we made it to the Final Four. But you got to know what they're trying to attack, and you got to be confident in yourself.
Your next question is going to come from Sam Khan. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Mike, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the places you've played. You guys just came from a game in Atlanta, which, of course, you played a few weeks ago. You guys mentioned the AT&T Stadium familiarity. Obviously, this team played for a Big 12 title there. Is there a tangible benefit to playing in venues that you have some familiarity with?
Yeah, I think it gets those nerves out a little bit when what the stadium looks like, what the atmosphere is, what the air smells like in that dome or that stadium. And so I think those nerves kind of rush out, and it's good to have nerves. I truly believe that, but too much built up nerves where you're not kind of playing your game because you're thinking about something else. I think that's where it can go wrong. And, when you have that familiarity, then those nerves kind of subside. And so, having that familiarity, then that comes with confidence and poise and composure. And so I think it's great that we get to go back to AT&T Stadium. I know that the Burn Orange will be there, and they'll be rowdy. They'll have the juice, and they'll be loud on third downs.
Your next question is going to come from Cedric Golden. Go ahead.
Hey, Mike. Coach Sarkisian said that you guys are a massive underdog, and your whole career has been about being a massive underdog, overcoming odds. How can you use that as fuel, and what are the conversations like with you and your teammates who have had some success against?
Yeah, I kind of talk to the defense, talk to the DBs about being about being the underdog, because that's my story. I love being the underdog, and that's what I grew up with. That's the adversity that I faced, and that's where I got to where I am right now. But we're not super worried about what the critics say. We live by the motto, "The man in the arena," and so the people that are in the arena, the people that are with us every single day, shedding blood, shedding sweat for one another to conquer a common goal. I think that's where we get our knowledge from. And your mind goes where your thoughts go. And so when your thoughts are on this team, this dream, and just taking it one day at a time, then that's where your mind is at.
We have time for a couple of more questions. We'll go to Chip Brown next.
Hey, Michael. Ohio State is suddenly throwing the ball to set up the run. Just talk about how you all on defense, who've been coming up big all year, are going to have to be on your toes from the beginning in this game. And how's your body recovering after, I think you played over 100 snaps in the Peach Bowl?
Yeah, body's getting there. Definitely feel like if game day was tomorrow, I could go. The adrenaline would take me. I'm willing to sell my body out on the line for my team. So body's there, but everybody's going to have a bump or a bruise when it's week 16, and you're playing in January, and I think we started July 31st or something was our first game. I can't remember when Colorado State was, but it was early. And so just knowing that, you're going to be banged up, and you just got to keep going. Now, they love to throw. They got two talented running backs too, so they're a pretty complete offense. And you just got to know that the game plan switches from week to week. You got a really hard running back that they wanted to run the ball in Arizona State, and so now this next team, you're a little bit more balanced. You got two really good running backs. You got a really good quarterback. You got a good O-line, and then you got obviously your receivers out wide that we've been talking about. So you just got to know the game plan.
All right, we got 4 questions. We're going to squeeze them in. We're going to start with Dennis Dodd. Go ahead.
Michael, taking a shot here on the underdog angle. The last time Texas played a game this big, it was a big underdog to USC in 2006 at the Rose Bowl. Have you met Vince Young? Do you remember that game? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have met Vince. He's a great role model to a bunch of guys on the team. He tries to just shed his light, shed his knowledge, shed his competitiveness and his winning ability in his career on us, and let us know what it takes to get to where they got. We also got Michael Huff around all the time, who was a big factor in that game. So we got guys from that game that shed light on that game all the time. Now, I don't really remember that game being alive, but I've watched it numerous times, so I feel like I've seen it live before. But I was about 2-3 years old when that game played, so wish I was there for it. But I was sitting in the hotel. I'm the youngest of 4, so all my siblings were there. My parents were there, but I got left with the babysitter.
All right, the next question is going to come from Noah Gross. Go ahead.
Hey, Michael, the game against ASU, obviously not the cleanest, but you guys came out the win, especially with a lot of those clutch moments, offensively, defensively, and overtime. What's something you maybe learned about your team or was shown to you in that game that proves your belief is right and that can help you guys as these games get more intense and even more difficult?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I learned is we got belief in one another. not, the odds were against us when it's 4th and 13 in overtime, and we got to score to just be back in it to go to second overtime. And I don't think anybody was panicked. I know for dang sure that the quarterback of our team wasn't panicked, and so that kind of gave us confidence on the sideline, sitting there just like, hey, just give us one more shot. Come on, go do your thing, give us one more shot. And I can't say that a lot of teams would do that. I think some teams that don't have this type of connection that we have maybe would give up on the sideline and think that it's a wrap. But we all had belief, and so that's a huge thing that I learned, that we got belief in one another. I've known that, but just seeing that come true in a game like that is huge.
2 more for you. First, Eric Henry, go ahead.
Michael, real quick, just want to follow up. You were asked about the pass defense over the past 2 weeks, and you said the communication was kind of the factor there. How's the communication been different over the past 2 weeks compared to maybe during the season?
Yeah, I think just different challenges over the last 2 weeks, just different opponents facing different challenges. I don't want to ever say that we got complacent, because we're not complacent. We're so hungry for this. That's not a good word. But what I would say is maybe I assumed that something was said that I've been saying all year, and I didn't say it. I don't know, just an example, if that makes sense. And so kind of where we hadn't gone wrong because we were over communicating, maybe that didn't happen. And I like to say that I'm the captain out there. I'm the quarterback of the defense. I think people trust me on our defense. I'm pretty confident that my teammates trust me. So I got to take an initiative and make sure the communication is key. But yeah, different challenges. You know, like I said, there's so much things getting thrown out at a defense, you know, especially when you're playing really well. These offensive gurus on the offensive side, the offensive coordinators that we're playing are definitely getting their money's worth, because they're doing stuff that I've never seen before. So credit to them, but we'll be ready.
All right. Our final question for you is going to come from Kurt Bowles.
Michael, I know you're a great tackler, but was that targeting or not?
Yeah, to discuss that hit, I think first, thank God that I don't have to have my foundation and the opinion of others, the approval of man, or the game of football, because the things that they're thrown my way after that game on text, people that are finding my phone number on social media, I don't think anyone should ever have to go through. So thank God that I don't put my trust in what others say about me. Now the second thing, you know, I said a prayer for that guy. I know, you know, number 5, it took him a long time to get up from that hit. And I know it's football, but you know, I wanted to pray for him, and I hope he's doing okay, because, you know, you never want to see anybody go down on the football field. Now, the third thing, I've always been taught all my life to, whenever you're tackling, you tackle with your eyes up. If your head's ever down, then your neck's going to get injured. So I always try to tackle with my eyes up, and I always try to wrap. And I think that's what I did on that play. I had my eyes up and I wrapped, and I left it up to the officials. So I got to probably get my pad level down a little bit more, but I tackled with my eyes open and I wrapped. And so when your eyes are up and you're wrapping, that's fundamental football. That's what you've been taught since the 2nd grade.